right, so I am going to go over before you guys do your second weigh-in, because the first one, for those of you who started right on the start date with us, this is your second weigh-in. So this is where you're starting to evaluate different data points to see if you are making progress. So I wanted to go over this with you really quick about the scale weight and why I don't place much value in it and why you shouldn't either. Note, we weigh ourselves as a unit of measurement strictly to see how our bodies are responding to the new habits we're creating. We use it as a data point. We're exploring how our bodies respond to water, exercise, increase in protein, and so forth. Remember, patience and persistence. So I want you to remember this for this whole journey and for any journey you're on with your health and nutrition, even beyond this 8 weeks. So before we hop on the scale for our Wednesday weekly weigh-ins, it's important to have the mindset that these measurements can take time. It can take an average adult 4 weeks before measurements begin to change, so patience and persistence is key. Stay within your nutrition goals and be honest with how accurate you're tracking your food. Why scale weight varies? So I've got a bunch of 6 different things that I wanted to go over. The first is carbohydrates. Our bodies can store between 400 and 800 grams of glycogen, which is another form of a carbohydrate, in our muscles and liver. So for every gram of carbohydrate that we store, we retain 2.5 to 4 grams of water in our body. That could add a half a pound of weight to the scale. So if you've overeaten or gone way over your carbohydrate intake, it will add weight to the scale. So if you blew your carbs for like 3 days in a row, your scale could go up a little. Number 2, training, especially like heavy lifting. Training can increase water retention through inflammation. The healing process of inflammation can increase water retention up to 8% in your body. So it might not be a big number, but you know, it could be a point something on the scale. What goes in must come out. So if your bowels are backed up, you will weigh more. Salt, a very salty meal the night before, even hours before you hop on the scale, produces more water retention. Or a reminder that it's always important to use the exact same scale that you have started with, and not to, so some scales, if you were to hop on, you're visiting your sister and you hop on her scale, it may be a little bit different, might give you a little bit different number. So doing it on the same scale, and if you're traveling and someone else has a scale, that's fine too, just to see where you're at. But salt could have a part of that, and then waking up and doing it on an empty stomach. I like my clients to do it first thing in the morning before they eat. Menstrual cycle, so women will retain most water around the luteal phase, so that's the time between you ovulate and before the start of your menstruation. And so if you have ever dealt with fertility stuff and you know, I'm most fertile here, and your doctors had you hop on a scale, it's your heaviest point in the month. And that has a direct impact on the weight that shows up on the scale. So summary and conclusion, after going over all these variables, you can also place less value on the scale weight. We'll be placing our focus on other data points and most importantly, circumference measurements. So be kind to yourself. Clients with over 50 pounds to lose will lose fast. Clients adhering and staying within 5 to 10 grams of their macronutrient goals will see results faster. Clients who have increased their daily activity and movement will see results faster. So if you're trying to cut only 5 pounds, it may take you longer, and that's still okay. So remember patience and persistence, and continue to be kind to yourself through this journey.